Welcome to Ngosti Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Let the world hear your voice and be filled within.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Giselle, please introduce everyone.
Hi and hello. Welcome everyone. We are so excited to be here today, to come into your space, and we hope that you are doing well. We wish you well wherever you are, if it's morning, if it's nighttime, if it's evening. It's morning time here in Trinidad and Tobago, so I'm ready to start my day, and so we just want to welcome you. I'm here with some friends. We are now friends here, so I'm here with some friends, and we are just going to share our hearts with you today. So stay tuned, share this live, share this program, and stick and stay. We have something to say to you today. Back to you, Namsa.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Giselle. Carol Ann, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah, hello, and good afternoon from London, UK. And it's a nice sunny day today. A bit cold, but it's sunshine and blue sky. Yes, and my name is Carol Ann, and as the writing facilitator, what I do is I support soul-driven entrepreneurs in becoming more productive with their writing by connecting them with their deeper innate ability to write, and to open up into the possibilities, hearing what it is they say about themselves and what we're talking about today, self-affirmations and the power of that. But even more so, what they experience is free-flowing writing. They experience an unlocking of the writer within, unmuting their story, getting their story written, because you cannot publish what isn't written. And all of this has come about through my own journey of unlocking the writer within. So somebody who hated writing, hated words, and now is enjoying the exploration and stepping into a very positive affirmation of, I am a writer, something I used to deny at one time. So I enjoy to see where this conversation is going to go today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carol Ann. So Giselle, please tell us about this topic that you have chosen, the power of self-affirmation.
Yeah, sure, Namsa. I love what Caroline, some words that she used in her introduction, exploration being one of them. And I think for me, this entire pandemic period, this March marks 1 year we've been in this. And it has indeed been an exploration inward. And so as Caroline would take persons through exploring, through writing, for me, I have had that type of exploration, but with my thoughts and really affirming who I am and the changes and accepting and embracing the changes that came with the pandemic. And so I thought, it was a good time just to pause and look at that again and really chart our way to whatever is next. Some places are relaxing the strict the restrictions, they're opening back up again slightly, ever so slightly. And what does that mean as you place yourself into this next phase of existence? So that's why I felt we should just look a bit at this topic of the power of self-affirmation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Giselle. I didn't realize it's a year now. My
Yeah,
goodness.
it's March, yeah.
Oh
That's when
my
everything
goodness.
changed. Yeah.
Wow. This is, and you know the beautiful part of it is some people have basically stayed strong. They've stayed strong until today, which is, I think that's what we need to be grateful of.
Yes,
We are
yes.
here today and it's been a year. Carol
Yeah.
Ann, please, have you got anything to add to what Giselle has just said?
Wow, yes, that realization it is a year, and what we've been through, and it is that coming through and out into the next phase, because yes, this whole time has, for me, it's been the universe saying, you need to stop, you need to pause, and as Giselle was saying, that pause, go inward, and it's about taking each day as it comes, and really looking at what is here for you. And what are you saying to yourself, about your life? Is it empowering or is it disempowering? And I think there's a lot of fears have come up through this whole time. People have been challenged in many ways. And so by looking at what is it that you're saying to yourself about yourself, catching those inner words, those inner thoughts, because they are what shape your life. And we're all experiencing the same thing. We're all experiencing lockdown, shutdown, and we're all exploring it in a different way. We're all coming out of it in different ways, and we're all dealing with it differently. And you're either coming out stronger or you're coming out in a way that there's a carrying and a tendency to sort of, oh gosh, I can come out of this. Well, what are you saying to yourself? What do you believe? Because what's it going to take for you to change that? Oh, I don't know what's going on here. I don't like this. I can't step out. I'm frightened to go out now. Into that powerful, I can do this. Because I know for me, it'll be 2 weeks tomorrow, 2 weeks ago, that I went out for the first time in a year, that I went and walked round to the local supermarket.
Wow.
There's been a couple of times that I've gone with my daughter in the car over this year, but bless her, she's done all the shopping. And I've a few times walked up the road and back last year, but my breathing, my whole way of being was, I can't do this. I was so tired. I just slept so much. But I knew that there was a lot of healing going on at the same time. But 2 weeks ago, something changed, and it was like, I can do this. And I got up, and even though my thoughts were going, no, just go back to bed. You can't do this. No. I literally, even though those thoughts were going, there was something deeper inside that I just found myself watching myself, put my clothes on, put my socks, shoes on, and then out the door, I'm walking around the corner. And I was like, wow, I did it. I walked around there, did some shopping, came back again, and I felt different. So what is it going to take for you to go from this to this?
Yeah,
Because it is about that. What are you saying to yourself?
that's it.
In a
That's it.
deeper way.
Wow. And sir, I just wanted to respond to something Caroline said. It's been a year, and it's like, we're marking ourselves that it's been a year, and we need to be doing some measuring now. And the fear for me has always been, how am I going to come out of this? And you said, Caroline, what are you saying to yourself? So it's been a year, and I need to look back and get to this point now and look at what I've been saying to myself and speaking to myself, because I think we can all sense that a shift is taking place. It's going to a next phase, but to get us into that next phase would take some speaking. And we have to see, what have you been saying, and do we still need to correct, as you say, to take us from and to this part, do we have to do some correction in what we've been saying to ourselves to get ourselves ready for the shift that is taking place? So I agree with what you're saying there.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carol Ann. I also agree with Carol Ann as well that it's been a year. For me, unfortunately, nothing changed. I've been going to work ever since. Even Martin is basically, we've been working right through coronavirus. We've been out. But there were times where I would just walk to town and I just stop and I feel like this doesn't feel right. Where is everyone? It's so quiet. And but then I just went, okay, I need to be grateful that we're all gonna come out safe, whatever is going on. So based on what has been going on, and Giselle created this topic for us to talk about it today, some positivity and negativity about it. What is the impact of self-affirmation on your thoughts and self-image, Giselle, please?
So let me deal with the thoughts first. It's been a hard year mentally, in terms we've had to keep focus and to ensure that we stay focused, because everything came at us, everything was new. And as we learned more about our new environment, our new normal, the term that was coined, we had to stay mentally focused and mentally fit. I like to use the word agile. You had to get to that point where you are mentally agile. And so for me, affirmations to self would help, and it helped me to keep mentally fit and to keep mentally agile, because we had to respond quickly to things. We had to make decisions, new decisions that we were not accustomed to. And so that agility of the mind had to be tip-top shape in order to respond and to keep a semblance of normalcy for our families. If you lived alone for yourself, you had to be mentally agile. And so that's where the power and of affirmation would come in to help me. And I'm sure Caroline would testify, and she would speak to that fact that it also helped her keep that mental focus that she needed during this year-long period. And in terms of the self-image, I don't know about you, Nomsa or Caroline, but my self-image took a hit in that you moved. One day you were so sure of yourself, you were in control, everything was going according to plan. And then it's as if the rug was pulled from under you and you had to redefine who you were. And so self-affirmations helped me with that redefinition of who Giselle was. And for all of us in a virtual space, for some of us, we kind of held that entering that space. Okay, yeah, I know about it, but I'm not ready to enter. But we all had to enter, and it took some redefinition. For some of us, oh, I don't like to speak in the camera. Oh, I don't know what to say. I freeze up, I can't. But we had to pivot, and we had to go boldly into this new space. And so your self-image had to be redefined. Who are you? You had to answer that question. And are you still serving the purpose, the original purpose that you started out with? So in those two ways, I see that self-affirmation really helped hone my mental focus and agility, and to redefine my self-image during the past year.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Giselle. I like the part where you say, when you said who you will be when everything, the world is shut down, I could hear in my ears the Prime Minister, my Prime Minister saying, lockdown. And sometimes when I remember when I heard those words, I was like, is this real? And everybody else, when I was dropping my daughter at school, everyone was like, Nomsa, you're not, some people were saying you're not taking this serious. And I was like, tell me something. If I respond, how you expect me to respond? What good is it gonna do to me? All I gotta do is have hope, have faith that we're all gonna make it. And she was like, you are not being serious. The people, I was like, yes, people are dying, but I'm speaking. I need to have faith. I need to speak with faith. I need to have hope. And these are two words that I have had to hold on. Since that day, I hold on to faith. I hold on, and when I go to the doctors, if I have flu and they say you can't go to work, I'm like, I'm going to work. The flu, and I'm like, the flu doesn't exist. So basically what I've been doing, I've been eating what is it called? Garlic, ginger, and what else? So I've been eating all those things, and I'm like, I'll be fine. And refusing basically to actually to let coronavirus define my identity and define my self-image. Because I'm not saying it's been easy for me than other people, but all I'm saying is I've been holding on to something higher than me, which is God. Having hope, having faith, and knowing that tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and look at myself. People have been in hospital, and I have to say those words out loud, that I'm grateful that I'm alive. I'm grateful that I'm here today. When I come and go to talk show, I see you guys, and I'm like, I can't complain. I don't have a legal right to complain because I'm here. So thank you so much for choosing this topic for us. Over to you, Carol Ann. What's your opinion on this one?
I agree what you were saying there, Nomsa, about having that faith and hope and actually being stronger than what's going on. You know, saying it's not going to define me. I'm not going to identify myself in this. For me all along, it has been having that faith and belief in what I believe in and have come to know over the years about. We have the most amazing immune system that we totally compromise, you know, and if we just focused on that and gave love to our body and say, I love you, all parts of your body, I love you, you know, I thank you, I'm grateful for you, and your immune system, give it love and attention and ask, what does it need in order to fight you know, whatever's going on, if the virus is around, or whatever viruses you might pick up, because I believe this has, you know, this has been sent for a reason, and it's about breathing into that reason and asking for the learning. What is it we're meant to be learning? Because if we don't learn the lesson, is it actually going to go away? Or is it just going to come back even stronger? You know, and that's my belief. So I keep diving in and going, what's here for me to learn? And even though from March until July last year, I slept so much, I kept thinking, oh God, this is ridiculous. And I had to stop doing that and stop telling myself off, and just go with the flow and trust what was happening. Unfortunately, I have got friends who I collaborate with and we work together, and so we can keep raising our, you know, raising our vibration and staying with that and going to stop making it wrong, because they also were you know, sleeping as well a lot. So we were able to say, yeah, I slept today as well, you know, got over a bit and slept. But that has changed. I mean, the 1st of July, I heard in my ear, I just had this message, time to wake up now, time to wake up. But it's like, oh, okay. But it's been very slowly, you know, things don't happen like that. Because I thought, oh, just going to, right, okay, time to wake up. But it's been a really slow process. And I sort of found myself waking up and, and then diving again. I was ill over Christmas and actually had COVID, but I was able to be with what my body was experiencing, because that's how I work. That's how I've come to be with my body. Feel it, notice the changes, what's going on, and realize, oh my goodness, I'd have my tissue with my oils on and can't smell it. I can't smell eucalyptus. I can't smell tea tree. Wow, two powerful, smells wasn't there. My taste had gone. And so, but rather than going, oh, what's all this about? It's like I was just present to it. And, all year I'd had all my oils around. So I believed in all of the alternative natural health. Thank you. Yes. Things to use and going, no, this is what's going to help me. This is what's going to help me. So it's that positive affirmation. And even when I did catch it, it was like, okay, this is here for me for a reason. And I did actually go right into the depths at one point of, my goodness, I felt like my mind had been taken over. I remember waking up thinking, goodness, that's really bizarre. I just don't feel like my mind's my own. But also felt like everything was slipping away from me and thinking, I can't go on anymore. I couldn't see my business going anywhere. It's like, it was so negative, and I've never been so at that point before. I've always often had, what's the point of carrying on with this? But this was different. There was like a slipperiness to it. But slowly I pulled out something stronger inside. I just kept praying, asking for guidance, just kept doing the inner work. And slowly it came out, and it's like, I can do this. I started feeling stronger. And as soon as I was, oh yes, I can smell this again, it's like I knew I was on the mend. And I actually gave myself permission to not do anything through January, just let everything do my business. I found myself picking up and doing things. Things kept coming, and I felt stronger. I was able to focus on conversations more. And what I've realized is, having gone to that depth of illness, and even a friend of mine said, this isn't like you. You're never ill. He said, you're never ill. I'm quite concerned. He said, And I thought, well, that's okay. But having gone there with that illness, I now feel like it's cleared something that I can now take off in another way, beyond where I'd got to before. And that's what I now believe. And that's given me strength to continue and to keep going. So it is about being present and having that faith, that belief in a higher power of what are we here for. And Giselle, you were saying, what's my purpose? Keep hold of that and re-identifying, redefine yourself. Because yes, we have had to redefine ourselves through this pandemic. Find other ways of delivering what it is we're here to deliver, how we're here to serve other people and to make a difference in the world. So it's just playing with it, going down there, coming back up again, and but just keep that faith, keep that belief, and really acknowledge our body and this amazing immune system that we have, and strengthen it. Just keep strengthening it.
I found that very interesting that you said, Caroline. What I was getting from that, we have been on such a fast pace before this year happened that we lost the ability to listen and let our minds lead us. And the mind knows when you need rest, but we sort of override that and we keep going. So for the past year, we have had to let the mind now lead. And through your experience, I was getting the sense that, okay, you had to listen by force. So the mind knew that in the initial period, it probably felt that you were down to okay, that's it. But the mind knew at which point okay, now I can start building again. And use this word, it was as if it was a clearing. You received clarity, and you created the environment then to build again. And that's where the affirmations came in, and you did things, you pulled things into that environment to affirm who you are. And I think that's the power of affirmation. It's the words, it's the environment that we create to support who we are affirming, and that's your self-image, your purpose, who you were created to be, what you were placed here to do. So I really found that interesting in what you were saying.
Okay. And as you say, it is the affirmations, but it's those affirmations that are powerful ones that will work for us, because affirmations can work in the other way as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Telling ourselves, "Oh, I'm no good." That's an affirmation in itself. You know, you're affirming something that you believe to be true.
That's
so
right.
it is catching that sort of affirmation that really is detrimental and unhealthy.
That's right. Yeah. And that's why, Nomsa, that's why I pointed out in the beginning, what have we been saying to ourselves? Because it's so true. We could be affirming, but the wrong thing. And all year you kept affirming the negative. And probably now it's time, if you're listening, you need to change that and start affirming the positive. That's so true. That's so true. Nomsa.
I'm in a millionaire mindset group, so everyone shares videos. So everyone seems to be sharing the video about the vaccine. Wherever I turn to, every group, they're sharing the video about the vaccine. Don't take the vaccine, how bad this is. So I ended up saying to everyone, you know what? I am not getting involved in this politics of vaccine. I need to look forward to basically the questions that I need to ask myself. How do I get out of this coronavirus? Do I take the vaccine? I'm going to listen to the scientists. If they're saying it's good, I'm going to take it. And also, the most important thing for me, I need to pray to God and say, instead of me being blaming and saying who started this, I need to ask him, how do we get out of it? Were we responsible for, because the world is shut down? Was it your way, God, or was it somebody else's way? If it wasn't your way, how can you help us to get out of this situation? So I was like, actually, I don't want to listen to the negativity about the coronavirus, who is saying this, because everyone is making it a politics. And you know what? Guess what? It comes down to one question. People are dying. So if it wasn't real, why is people are dying? So I was like, I think I need to do the affirmation, positive affirmation, and just pray to God and say, I want to get out of this coronavirus. I don't want to be in this situation. So I think if there's anyone that is watching, basically, I don't know whether your beliefs, what you believe in, you need to use your beliefs, because this is all about self-survival. It's every man for himself. So it's all about what you believe in. So if you believe in those negativity, following the negativity, but if you believe in survival, getting out of it, I would just say, just pray about it, or whatever you believe in. Hold on to your beliefs, hold on to faith, hold on to hope, because this is a reality that the world is facing. And I was looking at it when people are actually blaming, and I was like, if the government was responsible, would it go this far to make the country bankruptcy? For what? What is the gain? So I was like, no, I don't believe that. I was like, no, sir, you don't believe that. I believe that there's someone who is, either if God is not responsible, that means Lucifer is responsible for this coronavirus. So I was like, I don't want to die, God. I want to survive this. I want to pull through it. So those have been my affirmation, to say I do not want to survive. I've got kids, God, I've got family, I've got friends, I've got people that I'm serving. So I don't want to die yet, not yet.
Yes. And I'm glad that you used that example, because affirmations are not just words we say in a vacuum. Affirmation supports our purpose. And I keep saying this word again and again so people could understand. Because, some people say, what's the use? I'm just using these flowery words. They don't do anything. But what you are affirming, what are you affirming? Answer that question first. And then you would see that, okay, I'm not just using words in a vacuum, but I'm affirming something. And so for you, Nomsa, you affirmed, I have a family and I have a role and my work is not yet done. So you kept affirming, I want to live for my family and to continue with my family. And so people must understand that life without a goal, life without a purpose is kind of, you're like that hamster on that wheel and you're just going around and around and around. And so you need to watch what you're saying and accept that you were placed here for a reason. And the quicker you find that out, you will be able to now support it with what we're speaking about today. Affirmation. I'm affirming my purpose here on this planet, in this universe. Yes?
Yes.
Sometimes I'm not seeing you on camera, so you just check your video a bit. I don't know if you're seeing yourself still.
I think Carol Ann, she's I'm not sure. I think her network, because it's just me and you on on Zoom. So I think she's been kicked out. Hopefully she'll be able to come back.
Yeah, that's okay. And so another thing I want to just say, I like to think of affirmations in this way. Think of a beautiful piece of art, a painting, and somebody took the time to create that masterpiece, and we go and we buy it and we hang it up in our best spaces in our homes, and we look at it and we see and we appreciate the beauty of it. And every time, probably, I know for me, you feel down. My husband paints, so I appreciate his work, and you look at it and you acknowledge, wow, the effort, that the skill in this piece of art. And our lives are like that. We are being created as we go along. Every season is a stroke of that painter's brush. And so you need to appreciate the beauty that is being created, and that's where affirmations would come in. It's not going to happen all at once, but each step, each brush, you say, wow, that's good. You're on the right track. You know what I'm saying? You need to keep affirming. And some people, they would have a painting for 20 plus years, and you only just saw a different dimension of the painting. I never saw that before. That's like our life, and that's what affirmation does. I didn't know this about me, but as you keep affirming it, it comes out and it shines out and it blossoms. Yes, I just wanted to add that.
I agree with you, Giselle. You have to basically, if you want to survive in this world, and knowing your purpose, you touched on your purpose as well, you have to know why you are here, the things that make you who you are as a person, the things that you do. Because like you come here to Ngosi Talk Show, there must be somebody that when they listen to your voice, when they listen to the things that you speak about when we are here, those words, it makes them feel alive, it makes them have hope, it makes them have faith. But if you don't know that, so you have to actually be positive and affirm, use affirmation words, because that's how powerful they are. Use them and believe in them as well, because somebody believes in you and you don't know that. There's a guy that I follow, is a Christian guy from Nigeria. I have no clue whether this man, he knows how much he has helped me with my faith, with my prayer life. he hasn't got a clue, but I know that he believes in himself because of what he does. And I basically have learned a lot from him. And there are other speakers that I hear at Ngozi Talk Show. I've learned a lot from you guys. But if you didn't know that actually somebody believes in me, somebody believes in the things that I do, if you only knew the impact, the good impact that you are impacting the world, you wouldn't be saying negative words about yourself. You'll be looking at yourself in front of that mirror and saying, I thank you, God, for being me, for giving me this strength and giving me my name and my breathing. Because for somebody to name you Giselle, there must be something that was going on, and God has said, her name is gonna be Giselle because she's my child. She's gonna be Giselle. So there was a reason why you were born. The reason you were born, you were not born to actually complain. You were not born to look at yourself in front of the mirror and say, I don't like my face, I don't like my hair. You don't have a right to say that. You have to say, oh, I like to make some improvement. I thank you, God, for this hair, this beautiful hair that I have, but I would like to make some improvement. And I think that shows that you appreciate what you have. You appreciate that life that you have. Even though, like, sometimes when I pray, I say, God, I'm grateful for everything that you are giving me. This house, I'm breathing, I've got food, I've got this, but I like to a little bit more so I can share with other people, because at the moment you are giving me just for me to look after myself, so I need more so I can share with those who are not able to actually do it for themselves, who are not able to actually reach out to you and seek, so you can and ask you, so you can give it to them. So I ask, and I always say, if you watch my post on Facebook, I always make sure that when you bless me and say, I thank you, Lord, because when I pray, I always say, I let them know that it was your doing.
That's right. So true. No, so you said two things there I just want to highlight, and it's so true. You said about the uses of names, and I know in our culture, African culture, women from the Caribbean, the diaspora, names are important. And just think of it. You know the meaning of your name, Nomsa? What's the meaning of your name?
My name is Ngozi. So
Ngozi, yes. Mm-hmm.
So Nomsa as well, it says my name as well. So Ngozi means God. Right. So I'm not a God, but I'm just an angel. I'm his angel who was born on earth. Basically, I have a right to claim his blood with him because I'm breathing. So
that's right. And one of the meanings of my name, Giselle, is graceful.
So my goodness.
We're speaking about the power of self-affirmation.
Yeah.
So you could imagine every time I say my name or somebody says my name, Giselle, what they are actually affirming is graceful. They are repeating, you are graceful, you are graceful, you are graceful. And so Nkosi, meaning God, made in the image of God, somebody repeating that name to you, repeating that name to you, repeating that name to you. What happens in your mind is you grow into the image. Self-image, you grow into it because of the affirming of your name. Giselle, graceful, and Nkosi, made in the image of God. Thank you, Caroline, you're back, and welcome back. And so I get excited when I say my name because I'm affirming who I'm made to be. Graceful. So I operate with grace. I speak with grace. When you see me walk, I walk with grace because that's who I am. And the second thing you said that I want to highlight, you're a mom. And so when you speak to your children, what you say to your children, that's affirmation. And they grow up believing what they have been hearing. Think back to ourselves as children. We are now adults. What did we hear? both the positive and the negative, formed our self-images today. What we have had to do, we have had to unlearn some of the negative affirmations and hold on to the positive affirmation and continue on our journey of life with that. So affirming names, your name, and affirming in the example of children, they then grow up with that sense of security in themselves that my mom, my dad, they love me because they have been affirming to me, you are brilliant, you are smart, oh my, you are beautiful. And that's the power of affirmation. And then when you turn that on to yourself, you take it up now and you say to yourself, oh girl, you look good today. That's the power therein. So I just wanted to highlight those two things because there is power in speaking life. What you're doing, you're speaking life to yourself. We can't wait for someone on the outside to do it for us. We may never get anyone to agree or to see what we see. We have to see it in ourselves. And I heard a statement made, the best person to affirm you is you. So I want to encourage our users today, start on that journey of affirming you. You're the best person to do it.
Thank you so much, Carol Ann. What happened? Did you get kicked out by internet?
Oh, the electrician turned up and turned off the electric.
Oh my!
I'm going, no! The conversation was just getting interesting. I want to hear what Nomsa was saying, and I just had to drop all of, oh, for God's sake, and just sit with it and be with it. Bless him.
Oh dear. But you're back.
And now I'm back again. It's like, yay!
Yes.
You're back now. At least you're back. Me and Helen was doing her show the other day, so she invited me as a guest. The moment we went live, the electricity just went off. So, and she was like, I don't think we can do this. And I was like, that's true. Because she wanted to stream from her mobile phone. I was like, if you're using data, you will take all of your data for an hour. So you won't make it.
Yes.
But you're back now, Carol Ann.
That's
in
live
time to hear what
for you.
Giselle was saying, because I love that about saying about your name, affirming your name, because for me, and this
what does your name mean, Carol Ann? Is there a meaning of your name?
I have no idea. But what changes is ever since I've been doing this, diving inside and finding myself. I grew up being called Carol. Anne was my middle name. When I started on this personal development and self-discovery journey, all of a sudden it just felt, I need to call myself Carol Ann. And it took me a long while to actually to be able to do that. And just, if people kept calling, say Carol, and I wouldn't correct them for a long while. And then I started saying, no, Carol Ann, please.
Your name means Freeman.
Yeah?
Freeman.
Oh.
It's a girl's name, which is a German name.
Carol Ann, the two separate.
Yeah, I put it all together. I put Carol Ann. What does it mean? It means free man. So they put it's all in one name because you separate it.
Yes.
Yeah. So here is putting Carol Ann all together. Yeah.
Okay. So it's something about being free. So I think it is that something about being free man, being free, but actually being free to speak my truth and to stand up for myself, to know what is true for me. But being able to say, when people would say, well, why don't you put it together, one word? I say, no, it's two separate words. Well, why don't you put a hyphen in there? No, it doesn't have a hyphen. And I kept feeling this pressure to conform to suit other people. And I think in the end, I said, no, stop it. It's two separate words. And now I'm quite happy to say, no, it's Carol Ann. And there's a difference in the vibration. When I say I'm Carol Ann, and when I say I'm Carol, there's something missing. It's the old me. It's different energy altogether, and so Carol Ann is who I am now, and it's got there's more vibrancy to the name. And I've got used to family who still call me Carol, because obviously they grew up with that.
Yeah,
and I'm really grateful when there are family that do actually call me Carol Ann. I think, oh, thank you. But
wow.
There is something in the name.
Wow.
Being able to say this is, who I am.
Wow. Carol, you said something there that is so powerful. I don't want to let it go. You said that there are family members who still call you just Carol because that's what they're accustomed to.
Yeah.
And that's like our life. We have grown in this past year, and there will be people that we are familiar with who they only remember us from last year, who we were at the beginning of the pandemic. But we have changed, we have grown, and we have to continue to affirm that growth in ourselves and not allow them to take us back to who we were, the identity we were, or who they remember us being. And that's where you said, as you continue to assert, I'm Carol Ann, you continue to assert your new identity by affirming and repeating, I'm Carol Ann, I'm Carol Ann. And your concern really is not to get them to call you Carol Ann. That's not your concern. But what you need to do is continue asserting and affirming your identity. That was so powerful. Wow, wow, wow.
Wow. Thank you. Feel that.
Affirmations come on different levels. That's what we want to get across today. It's not just saying nice things, using a nice quote. It's on different levels. That's why we have the power of it. It affects us on different levels, our minds, our thought, our speech, our very lives that we are creating. We affirm on different levels. Powerful.
And there was something you said in there about, who we were and who we are now.
Yes.
And I know for a long time, when I stepped out of teaching and was on this journey of setting up my own business and personal development and training in other complementary fields, but not being able to make much money from it because I wasn't able to get the clients. I didn't know how to do it, but there were people that would say, well, why don't you just go back to teaching? And that's all they saw me as. And I'm going, no, that, I felt pulled that way, but I'd have to go, no, that isn't who I am anymore.
Wow.
And for a long while, I would push that aside and say, no, I'm not that a teacher anymore. And I didn't really know who I was, but now I can stand up and say, I'm the writing facilitator. I also acknowledge I am a teacher as well. I'm an educator. And I was then able to bring that back in and recognize the skills that I had as a teacher and recognize them in what I do now and bring the two together. But for a long while, I felt like I was fighting that, being pulled back to something. It's like, no, that's not where I want to go. So yes, it is. It's recognizing where you are now, that redefining who you are and asserting it, because things have changed through this pandemic, through this shutdown. We've all had to pivot, as you said earlier, Giselle, and do things differently.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
I like that. Recognize, redefine, assert, and affirm. Woo!
Yes.
So if you're taking those, recognize, redefine,
recognize,
assert, and affirm. Redefine.
Recognize, redefine, assert,
and then you have to affirm. Keep affirming.
Affirm. Yes.
Wow.
Ooh, love it.
Assert. And
affirm.
what's the last one?
Affirm.
Affirm.
Yes.
Okay, I was talking to my sister a few days ago. She's, when you look at somebody, they're very, very talented, but their mind is all over. So she was asking me a question. She wants to do something. So I said to her, what happened to what you were doing? And she was like, no, I'm trying hard. So I said to her, why don't you sit down actually and ask yourself a question, really a question of who you are as a person and the things that you love to do. Forget about me, forget about family, forget about the noise around you. Just be in a quiet place and ask yourself, what kind of things do you love to do? Because you are very talented, and if you sit down on your own, you'll be able to realize that basically this is who I am. Her identity is is clear. She loves cooking. She has her own business of cooking, but because of coronavirus, things are not going well. So I said to her, why don't you, for what you are doing now, why don't you find something that complements with what you're doing? Because you love people, you love helping people around you. So why don't you find that instead of going to a completely something that is not, you have no idea what she was thinking about. And I was like, that's not you. I don't know what's in your mind, but this is basically not something that you would do. So she was like, I'm trying hard. And with that word saying I'm trying hard, I was like, listen, I'm here for you as your sister. But if things are not going well for what you are doing, it doesn't mean you have to go and do something else that you know is not your destiny for the sake of doing it. I said to her, stand still. And I was like, stand still, stay there. It doesn't matter what goes on, everything will pass through. Then you can actually do something. I said to her, for me, everything that I'm doing, no one ever told me that creating Ngosi Talk Show, create this is something that I had to sit down. And I remember asking my brother, he's a professor, and he was like, what are you asking me for? And I was like, what is my talent? And he was like, you know your talent, Nomsa, don't ask me that. And I was like, oh, so I need to continue. And he was like, just go ahead and do what you do. So I continued doing, and then I started going to business events. And at business events, I meet people who are very successful, Andy Harrington and everyone else. And then I gave him a phone call, and I was like, I need to go with Andy Harrington. But then I need to find out, what do I need to do? Can you pray with me? And then he goes, no, you're not going with Andy Harrington. You need to go with he says somebody, Des O'Connor, somebody completely different. And I was like, why? And he was like, no, sir, not everyone that you cross in your path is an angel for you to help you. So this is something that you're gonna have to understand. Just because somebody is a millionaire, they have made it doesn't mean they are your helper. So I was like, how does God then work? Can you explain to me? I was like, I don't need to explain it to you. Go and read the Bible and go and pray and say, you've been praying and say, God is sending me a helper, but he's not your helper. So he was like, go to Desmond O'Connor. He is your helper. The person that you meet, when you meet somebody, I was like, when you meet someone, just because this person has made amazing things, they've done this, it does not mean they will do it for you. They will help you. So everybody has their own helper in their path. So he was like, your path is Desmond O'Connor.
Wow.
He's gonna help you wherever you want. And I went to meet Des. That's when Ngosi Talk Show started. I meet Desmond O'Connor. He tells me his rules as my coach. This is what I expect of you. This is what I expect of you. On social media, you can do what you want on your personal profile, but business profile, this is what I expect of you. And he's telling me all these things. And then I come home, and then I sit down, I start praying, I start working with him. And I can tell you this, I don't call him very often, but when he says words, like when you come to Ngosi Talk Show, Giselle, you don't come here very often, you come here once a month. And Carol Ann comes here every week. And there's some speakers that I don't forget. When they speak the words, when they speak, Carol Ann goes, you need to be silenced. You need to be silenced. So every time I'm doing some things, I come to a point where I hear her voice saying, well, if I'm doing rushing things, silence. Let the words speak to you. So I do that. And when you come on here, you don't come very often, but I don't forget you. So Desmond O'Connor is one of those men that when he speaks to you, when you go, you know he means business. It doesn't matter whether you're paying him. He says, if I'm coaching you, if you're not doing what I ask you to do, I'm not going to coach you, because for me is the results. Since I stayed with him every year, I just win Company of the Year every year. Since I've been with him for 3 years. All those 3 years, I've had trophies for all those years. This year it's been good. I had two trophies, Company of the Year, and another place Company of the Year as well. So, and now I sit down and I say to God, I'm grateful that I've never realized that. I've always thought that when I meet somebody, I have to go on social media, I have to judge them based on their success. So that's why now I'm not judging no one because of my brother. And he was like, Nomsa, in business, you guys judge people through success. But in God's eyes, when God put Caroline in front of you, Caroline has a purpose. There's something, she has a work that she needs to help you with. She's there for a purpose. So he was like, every person that enters your life, there's a purpose for them. Exactly. Don't look them down, or don't judge them by how successful they are, because they might not be successful because they don't know how to use their talent. But if you are talented, you use their words to succeed. So I was like, okay.
Right. Wow. And I think as coaches, we have all tapped into the power of affirmations. That's what we do. That's our job. So, your coach for the past 3 years, you don't have to see him regularly, as you're saying, but when he speaks to you, he has impact. Yeah. And words have the power to change.
Yeah, and he has impact of, I don't want to see him for 2 months. I want to stay away.
I know. But powerful impact to direct the course of your life. And that's the power of an affirmation. What he says to you changes, one, and then it helps you to chart the course of your next few months until you touch base with him again. And that's what we do. And so imagine you doing that for yourself. It changes your life and it helps you chart your way forward. Words. Powerful.
Words are powerful.
Very powerful. Yeah. And the other thing I heard you say, which is very true, is about just because they're successful doesn't mean they can help you. Right. And it is about going in and connecting heart to heart. Is this the person that can actually help me and support me, can speak my language, or be with me in a way that will have me do what I want to do? I've always said, I was a maths teacher, but I always said, you don't need to be a maths teacher to be you don't need to be a great mathematician to be a maths teacher or a good maths teacher. It doesn't always compute. And then they would always be looking for great mathematicians. Well, I remember even at school, there was one teacher. He was a great mathematician. He teaches. No. And yet there was another teacher who was, I don't know if he was as great a mathematician, but he was good. Mm-hmm. He was a fabulous teacher. He knew how to get it over to us so we understood it. And and it just took my love of the subject even further.
Yes.
And I learned then that you do not need to be great at something to be able to be a good teacher of it. So that's why I'm very discerning and always go into my heart when I go to work with someone, and I think, well, okay, yes, you've done all this, you've been successful, you're a millionaire, whatever, but are you the right person for me to connect with? And sometimes it's someone who hasn't maybe got all of that success yet, but they've got something by which, if you work with them, talk with them, share, they can actually support you in a far greater way. So acknowledge you, Nomsa, for listening to that inner voice, you know, and what God was saying to you, who to connect with, because then that's where the true power is.
Thank you so much, ladies. It's 4 minutes past 2. The conversation has been flowing and flowing. Any words of encouragement, Carol Ann, you like to leave with our audience, please?
Yeah, the power of just those 2 words, I am. And I I read something last night when I was looking it up, just to refresh that, because I knew it had power, but what I read was it's because it's the power of God being spoken into you. Just those 2 words, I am, and then whatever follows it. It's God's words being spoken into you, the power of the words. Again, as Giselle was saying, it's about the words, very much about the words. Words are powerful. So I am. So what are you?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Who
right.
are you? Yeah.
That's
So
right.
listen to that and then affirm it. And
Yeah.
And the one pure thing is, we are creators of our own life. So I will stand in, I am the creator of my life.
Yeah.
I'm not a victim. I am the creator. So that's how I'm able to say, okay, so what part of me has created this situation right now? Where's the learning? But yeah, really focus on those 2 words and then what follows, because that's what you end up having.
Thank you so much.
And I just want to echo what Carol Ann says. I am speaks of the absolute. There is no argument. And so when you affirm yourself, I am beautiful. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I have a bright future ahead. You stand in agreement with the absoluteness of that statement. There is no argument with that statement. So stand in your I am-ness today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Giselle. You know, these are, I am is a very, very powerful words, because everything that I do, when I make a decision, I always tell people, like, sometimes I think of doing something, then I make a decision, and then I tell people, because I've grieved with my decision, the fears, I've dealt with my fears, and then I tell them, they're like, I don't think so. I'm like, because I am Nomsa. And they're like, but there are people that are successful, there are people that I'm like, that is the problem. They are not Nomsa. There's only one in Nomsa. I have to try. If I don't try, I'll never know. So I have to try. I, Nomsa, have to try. And I have to, basically, I will say my date of birth, and I will say my book of life, and I will say whatever is written in my book of life. God, I don't know, but only you know. And then I just go for it and try. And sometimes you never know until you try something, whether it's going to be negative, whether it's going to be positive. So me, I'm interested with the answer. If the answer is no, I'm like, I'm grateful, God, for giving me the strength just for trying out. It's not about the results. People always think it's about the positive results. What's important is that action.
Action taken.
Taking action, and because it's you that is taking that action, so you have to be grateful and say, wow, I've taken that action. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead, and I know there are people who are bigger than me, and guess what, let them be, but God is bigger than them. That is my that is my affirmation, the scripture. There is no one bigger than him, so I'm gonna go for it, regardless of what.
Wow.
So if everyone is watching, if I say you can be who you want to be, I'll be lying, but you can. Whatever is written in your book of life, you can claim it. You can stand and claim it. I don't know what is written in your book of life. It's between you and God, whatever your beliefs, but I think there's only one man. I've listened to, what's his name, Dr. Monroe, and when he preaches, he says everyone has people that they follow, but those people have preached whether they're an idol, whether they're this, they've never said follow me, because they've never said those words out loud. So there's only one man that created the earth. So whether we like it or not, there's only one man that created the earth. So he says, whatever you're going through, just seek and ask him. He give everything as long as you're willing to tell people what is done for you. So all I'm just saying is, it doesn't matter how small you are. It doesn't matter whether life, it doesn't work with the degrees. The degrees is something that we go and learn, and it's something that, like today, I have a psychology degree. My psychology, it helps me to make decisions, because everything, like I think 60% of our lives is psychology. But if I can say I wanted to use the other degrees, or tell people that I have a psychology degree, God does not define me with my degree. God defines me with what I can and what I'm able to ask him, and the decisions that I'm able to. I might have a degree, but that does not define me. That does not say, oh, Nomsa has qualifications. So somebody who hasn't got a degree out there is a billionaire. So that shows that life is all about what you can tolerate. So tolerate your life and just go for what you desire in life. We are here in Nkosi Talk Show Monday to Friday at 1 p.m. So if you want to join us, you can join us. If you are listening to this video, please, if it touches your heart, press some heart love and share it with the other people. God bless you, and live with grace, everyone. Anything you guys want to leave with our audience before we leave?
And in your I am.
Definitely.
Okay.
Welcome to Nkosi Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within. Find your own voice. Let the world hear your voice and be filled with it.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Live with grace, everyone.